Okay, as you can see, I bought Tim Sykes DVD. I'm watching it right now. I've already watched it about 3 or 4 times, but I'm watching it again. And I'm at this one. I in 1 minute and 59 seconds where he was talking about he was in school and he was watching. He would be at different computers and he's saying he had a cast on his arm because he was playing tennis and got hurt. So let me just say some things. Is the DVD worth it? Now let me say this, okay? Let me say this because I got to do some things here. I got to do some things and say some things. Is the DVD worth it? I want to deal with something. Let me say this, okay? Tim Sykes, with his DVD, he kept talking about how he wants to, he prefers to teach. And if he was to ever watch this, I need him to understand there's a difference between teaching and giving people information. A teacher gives information but breaks down the information, uses the most everything out there hands could get on to try to break things down so the people they teaching can understand. Is the DVD worth it? In this case, you're going to hear and you're going to be listening to Tim Sykes, but you won't really follow and understand what he's saying because he's not breaking things down like I'm gonna do, and it keeps you in confusion. So even though he's giving you $1 million worth of information, we're not understanding and we're not following. For example, he kept talking about tickers in the first disc, and I was lost at what tickers is. What in the world is tickers? What he was supposed to do as a teacher, you're supposed to say, hey, for those of you who don't know what a ticker is, all a ticker is four letters, number one, and these are the names of the stocks. They just abbreviate the stocks in 4 letters. That's all. That's all a ticker is. That is what's known as a ticker. My man never even said that. So this whole time I listening to him, I lost at what in the world a ticker is. And that's the problem with this DVD. It's not laid out across as if it's not broken down so that you can understand. It's not. It's not broken down for a little 7-year-old to understand. I have to mark points off for this DVD because of that. I was left in too much confusion. Not confusion in what he was saying. He's talking perfect English. It's just I couldn't follow. For example, this how Tim Sykes sound to me. Cat, road, sun, stars. You see how I talk in perfect English, but yet you can't really follow or get the meaning of what I was saying? That's how Tim Sykes sound when he teaching. He's not teaching, by the way. He's just giving you information. See, a teacher, there's a difference between someone who's just giving you information and a teacher. A teacher will give information and will break down the information, use paintbrush, use drawings to try to get what they're saying to be clearer. And to see that the people they teaching can visualize it. All Tim Sykes was doing was talking. He's supposed to have been drawing things out. You see how I explain what a ticker is? What I didn't like either was how Tim Sykes was giving us the definitions of of different terms in penny stocks, like resistance line and support line, and it was different terms he was given. What I didn't like was he just give the definition. That's not teaching. A teacher breaks down the definition. A teacher will show you what a support line is visually. Tim Sykes didn't do that. He just said a support line is a line, blah, 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 blah. Boom. Didn't break down what the definition and didn't show us what a support line is. What is that? So he gave a bunch of definition of terms, and it was useless because the definitions, I couldn't follow what the definitions mean, or because he didn't break it down, and then he didn't give us an example to say, hey, for example, he gives the definition of low float. Never give exactly what is a low float. What is that? You calling something a low float. What is that? He gave the definition something to do with shares or stocks available to trade. I'm like, okay. Where on the chart can I identify how much trades is left, how many stocks is left to trade? Didn't show me that. How do you identify where the low float is on a chart? Where is it on the chart? I expect him to, all those definitions, I expected him to give us a visual of what it looks like and where it is on the chart. Never did it. And then I got even more angry because Stephen Dux, who learned from him, is teaching the same way. Not even teaching. He's giving across the information the same way, because I bought Stephen Dux DVD too. He giving us a bunch of definitions like Tim Sykes and not showing us what it is and where to identify it on the chart, so we could get a good gist of, oh, that's what it means. You guys are not teachers. You guys know how to give information, but y'all don't know how to break it down, and y'all don't seem to know that, hey, what I'm saying is not clear. Then they don't have this awareness. I noticed that with Stephen Dux and Tim Sykes. They don't have this awareness. They're not aware when they teaching to say, hey, you know what? I know what I said was said in a confusing way. Let me say it another way so these people can understand. And they gotta understand. They speak in trading and penny stocks language. You can't talk that language when you're trying to teach people who beginners. You gotta say, hey, when I say tickers, this what I mean. When I say support line, this what I mean. Until we understand the terms. You speak with all these terms and we don't follow. So is the DVD worth it? In this case, here's the problem. And here's what I will try to do. You need someone to buy this DVD like myself and to go through the whole DVD and go through everything which Tim Sykes should have broke down and say it in a different way, in a more clearer way, and draw a picture or show a picture of what he means. If I had the time, and I do have some time, I will try to do it this way. I will reteach. I'm slowly going through each disc, and I'm gonna reteach like this whole chapter. This one, he didn't teach anything. He was just giving us a little introduction. For you guys, is not useful for you guys. Didn't learn anything relating to trading or patterns or anything. It was just him giving us his introduction. I call it an introduction. Okay? You don't need to watch this one at all. It's just an introduction. There's no strategy, no patterns in it. Okay? So this is 35 hours. You already don't need 3 hours. This one is 3 hours. You don't need this 3 hours here. It's just an introduction. So you practically be left at 30 hours. So 3 hours of the DVD is not worth it. It's not worth it. Let me say it like that so far. Okay? Now, what I'm gonna do, something that Tim Sykes was saying in this right here, during these 3 hours, he was saying something that I really feel needs to be. See, he didn't break it down and didn't explain it, and I wish he could see this so he can get an understanding of what I mean and what I'm saying about they need to learn how to break it down and teach. Let me show you. Okay? I'll stay with me. No one else has done this, only me. Let's go. Tim Sykes says one thing. He says, he makes a good point here when he says, he says cut losses. Didn't show exactly what that mean. This is what cut losses mean, okay? My Tim Sykes. Didn't he, you teaching beginners, cut losses. This is what he means. Let's say he in a stock, right? Let's say he entered right here. Man, I need my other hand, so excuse me. Let me hold this thing. I might sound like I go low. I need my arms for this. He might enter right here, right? And he might bet for it to go in the down direction. But instead, it goes up. If it goes in the opposite direction, then you bet you're going to start minusing your money. Your money is going to go from 0. As it keeps lifting up, your money going to keep minusing 10. As it keeps lifting up, your money can keep minusing to $100. Or in other words, you down $100. Or in other words, the trade has taken and minused $100 from you. And the more it keeps rising up, it's going to keep minusing more money from your account. Because it's going in the opposite direction. So what Tim Sykes says is this. If you entered here and immediately you start seeing it going up, he say, hurry up, sell the stocks. That's what he mean by cut losses. Hurry up, sell the stocks as soon as it goes in the opposite direction than you did bet. Now that's clear enough. Tim Sykes didn't do it like this. He didn't explain that, and he didn't draw anything out. Okay? Now, he was making a good point here that I felt needed to be explained properly, and I'm going to break it down. Here we go. I think it's very powerful. Let's look at it like this. Let's try to understand something about stocks. Let's say I give you 20 tries in stocks. You have 20 tries to enter, trade, and put your bet in, so to speak. 20 tries. What most of us do is we try to say, hey, I want to win at least 18 times out of 20. At least you know if you win 18 times out of 20, you will have a high profit, right? Tim Sykes is revealing not so. Now, this is something that he explained to me that opened up my eyes. He said, let me put 18 wins out of 20. He says, you could lose 18 times out of 20 and only win 2 and come out rich. And I was like, huh? Let me say this again. We all know if you win, the more times you win, you should be richer. He says no. He say, if you cut losses, this is what he's trying to explain, and I can draw this out so it can be more clearer. He said, if you cut losses, and I explain what cut losses mean. He says, you could lose 18 times and just win twice, or 2 out of 20, and be richer than someone who win 18 times out of 20. Let me show you how. Let's say you do 18 trades and you get $20 profit. I don't want to do all that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just do it that much, okay? Let's say you just do, let's say this is 18 times. You win 18 times, $20. Let's just say, okay? 20 times 18 is how much? Where's the calculator? Jeez. Let me use the next calculator. That's 360. So out your 18 wins, you get $360 profit. But what if you lose? But the other, okay, this your 18 wins. But remember, you're gonna lose twice. What if you lose $4,000 plus another $4,000 on those 2 tries that you lost? What happens? You lost $8,000 from those 2 losses, which happens to be bigger than the total of your wins, your 18 wins total. He says, so now you're seeing how you could win 18 times and lose twice and come out with a big loss. You understand that? Remember now, you win 18 times, $20 each, which came up to a total of $360. But your 2 losses were too big, 4,000 and 4,000. So instead of you at a loss. And Tim Sykes says, so first of all, now we realizing we're not focusing on how many wins anymore that you have. And I think this is how we're going to start getting rich. We're not focusing on trying to get the wins anymore. He said, why did this happen? He said, this happens because you don't cut your losses. He says, you need to keep your losses small. And why you need to cut losses, or why you need to keep your losses, if anytime you lose, he said you got to keep your losing small. And what happens if you don't keep it small? This is going to happen. You're gonna win more times, but because your loss was so big, it was more than your wins. It was more than the total of your wins in profit. You understand? See, this is your total. This is your total from all of your wins, and this is your total from your losses. When you don't cut losses, or when you don't keep your losses small, you're going to have this scenario where your total losses is way higher than your total money you got from your wins. So you had a loss of you $8,000, your account, they took off $8,000 off your account. If you had $10,000, they took out, you only left with $2,000. So you winning plenty, but because you lost the total money from your losses is so high. You're not profiting. You need to see this and get this. And Tim Sykes only talk about this for maybe 5 minutes. And I said, no, man, Tim Sykes, you got to try to break this thing down so people can get this. Because this right here is this is the root. I think people need to focus on this. They need to get this first. They got to try to get this right here. And this is powerful, my friend. I just picked up on this when I was just listening. I was like, man, this got to be explained. Now, let's stop here. Let's stop here, okay? So let's this getting me excited. Listen, we're not, now my whole strategy and focus changing. I'm no longer focusing on trying to get more wins anymore. See, and this is what I like. It's what Tim Sykes saying is renewing my mind. I no longer care about winning more than I lose, because I understand I understand this right here. That's not the way. And I understand how this happened too. I got to cut my losses and keep my losses small. Now, let's look at what happens if I keep my losses small. Let's come over here, right? And let's say I lose. Let's say I lose. Remember, keeping my losses small. Let's say I lost 8. I lost 18 times. But I cut losses. As soon as it go in the opposite direction than I did bet, I just sell quick. I ain't even wait. As soon as I see it go the opposite direction, I just sell. So I just lose, let's say $10. 10 times 18 is 180. Now we getting Tim Sykes strategy. Now we getting the strategy. This the strategy. Tim Sykes is showing us. This is what he was showing us. You got to understand this. He says, and even right now, if you go on profitability, Michael Good and those, their winning percentage is only in the 60s, meaning they losing a lot. They got a lot of losses. But how is it they coming out with $1 million? Think about this now. Stop. Man, let's look at this stuff. Hold on, where did I stop? I stopped at 2 hours, okay. Let's look at this, man. Let's look at this, because this some deep stuff. Come on. Where's the search, man? Let's go. Tim Sykes. Man, what's up? How many times I gotta click that? Let's go, folks. I want to look at Michael Good. I think this how to spell his name. I don't even know. Oh. They give me suggestions? Yeah, I think this him right there. Michael Good. I think this him. Goodbye, haters. Come on, I click in Michael Good. Man, what's wrong with this internet? Jesus. This him, right? I think, yeah. This him. Let's go. Check this out. He only winning 60%. He losing a whole lot. But as you can see right here, his losses are small, but his wins is big. He's applying Tim's strategy. Now, I think I could see his trades. Man, this dude do 11,000 trades. There we go. See this? Look at this. He lose 7,000 times out of 12,000. No, out of 12. Listen, out of 12,000 tries, Okay, he did 12,000 trades. He win about 8,000, but he lose about 5,000. You know how much is 5,000 trades? You lose? But here's the question. How is it you could lose that much? He losing almost 50% of the time. Literally almost 50%. How is it he end up with the millions though? How can you lose that much and end up with such high amount of money? You got to understand the strategy right here that I'm explaining to you right here. This is how. This is how right here. You keep the losses small. See, if all of these losses are small, I could see right now in my mind, if all of these losses is small, I could see right now in my mind how he could have $2 million. It's the simple strategy I'm showing right here. What if, okay, let's get back here. These my losses, I lost 18 times. Who cares? I want to lose more. I want to lose more than I win, because I keep my losses small. And see what happens when I lose 18 times? What if I win? Now I only got 2 wins. What if the 2 wins was, as a matter of fact, Tim Sykes said he only can teach you how to keep winning 1,000. So let me use that. Let's say your 2 wins is 1,000 and 1,000. That's $2,000. You win twice and you get $2,000. Get the strategy, folks. You lose 18 times and only lost 180. You are a profit. You know, if you keep multiplying this, let's multiply. Let's say you lost, watch this. This how Michael Good could lose almost 50% of the time and still come up with 2 million. Here's how, this simple strategy. I'm going to multiply this by 1,000. That's 180,000. Let's say I lose. How many losses is that? That's 18,000 losses. Because I times it by 1,000. That's 18. How many losses? 18. That's 18,000 losses, equaling $180,000. Watch this. I also gonna multiply 2,000 by 1,000. You know, it's still the same percent. 1,000 times 2,000. That's 2 million. That's actually 2 million in profit, and I only win 2,000 times. If I times 2 by 1,000, that's only 2,000. That's only 2,000 wins. See that? See that, folks? This is Tim Sykes' strategy. I only win 2,000 times, but lost 18,000 times. But yet, I come up with $2 million. This is how to get rich. Is the DVD worth it? Let me put it like this. This bit of information, cut your losses quickly, was the only thing Tim Sykes said. But I'm breaking it down so you can see how this alone could make you rich. Not the patents, not anything else in his DVD. Cut losses quickly and keep your losses small. That there is 90% why you're going to get rich in penny stocks. And he didn't break it down like this. I broke it down like this so you can see and understand. Let's look at this. Look at this one more time and get this, folks. I only win 2,000 times, but I lost 18,000 times. But because I kept my losses only $10, my total losses in money only came up to $180,000. But because my wins was 1,000, as Tim Sykes said, he gonna teach you how to do. He said he can't teach you how to make 5,000 and 10,000 and $1 million. He said he could teach you how to do $1,000 per trade. So let's say I win 2,000 times, and I get 1,000 every time I win 2,000 times. That comes up to 2 million. I need y'all people to get that, babe. Listen, you stay looking at this for the rest of your life. You don't need to learn anything else. Tim Sykes, I'm gonna tell you one thing. This information here is worth this. It's worth the DVD. This worth it, buddy, because I would have never gotten it if he did. I wasn't getting it. I had to sit down and draw it out, and I say, wait a minute now. I was thinking about it for months. I say, and I was looking at some of Michael Good and them. I say, how these dudes losing almost 50% of their trades and they still coming up with $2 million? How is that possible? I say, I gotta go back and rewatch Tim Sykes and see what he's saying. Well, what was it I'm missing? This what I was missing. Cut losses quickly and keep the losses. What? Cut losses quickly because it's gonna keep your losses small. Why do you need to keep your losses small? I can't explain that in words, but I could explain it like this. And I know you got it after I explained it like this. And this is why you need a teacher. This is why I need to sit down and reteach everything Tim Sykes saying in this DVD in a more clearer, understandable way, so people who watching could get it. Tim Sykes didn't do it like this at all. So I was lost. But I understand clearly now. And you know what? I starting to be more like Tim Sykes. He say he's petty, man. As soon as it go in the opposite direction, he cut losses quick. I with you. I finally get like that too, because I see how I want to lose. I want to lose more than I win. It's fine, because as soon as it go the opposite direction, I out, because I trying to keep these losses small. That's powerful, Dred. See, because if you could get rid of your fear of losing. See, a lot of people, listen, you know what the problem is with a lot of people in penny stocks? I keep losing. They play. Listen, this building my confidence so much, because I used to think if I have 20 times to play, I used to think if I lose 18 times, something wrong with me. I'm not applying the strategies. No. As you can see here, is your losses small? Did you cut losses quick to keep your losses small? If the answer is yes, you are applying the strategy. And here's what I like about this. Tim Sykes teaching you, and you use his patterns. If you play 10 times, you can win 7 out of 10. I showing you, if you cut losses and keep your losses small, you could win 2 out of 10 and still come out rich. Ooh, yeah! Woo! That's it! I'm going, folks. Hold on, I wanted to explain something else. That's the revelation. I got it, Tim Sykes. Now let me show y'all something. I gotta explain this last thing here. What does it mean to cut losses? Or let's look at what it means, okay? I know I explained this, but I didn't explain it like this. Let me just get an understanding of what it means to cut losses, to keep your losses small. Let's say this is a chart. It's like this. This is the first chart, okay? You enter here because you think it's going to go up. But all of a sudden, it goes down. And your money minuses to $10. Hurry up, sell. Because you want to keep your loss small. Don't stay there and say, okay, I can wait for it to go back up. No, because as it's dropping some more, it's going to probably drop every 10, every half an hour, it's going to drop. Okay, it doesn't drop this quick. But when it drops like that, maybe half an hour later, you can be at a minus 50. And while you're sitting there waiting for it to go back up, it drops some more half an hour later. Now you minus 100. And as you can see, that is not the strategy. From the time you entered and it went against or the opposite, when it gone in the opposite direction, and you saw that minus, you're supposed to sell from that minus 10. If you go in another trade, man, that's the revelation. The revelation still hitting me. You could win 2 out of 10 and still come out rich if you keep your losses small. I get it. I get this. Let's say you got another chart right here, right? Right here. Another chart. You do another chart. It's gone down. It spike up. Another chart. Let's say you enter here because you think it can go down. But then from here, it goes up just a little bit. When you see that minus 10, sell. Hurry up, sell so you can keep your loss small. And one thing I like about this strategy too, let's look back at this. One thing I like about this strategy, Tim Sykes saying, if you lose 18 times, you're going to come across a chart that resembles the patterns that Tim was talking about. You're going to get it right. And you're going to get that profit. That's what I like. You're going to get, I just need 2 times to get it right. Or just one. I just need one time to get it right. Or 2 times. And my profit will exceed my losses. Because because my losses is so tiny. What I like about this is there's no pressure, Dread. I mean I felt pressurized trying to win 18 times. I feel good because I could lose 100 times as long as I could lose 100 times. Listen, you can get it right 1 out of 100, you know. You're going to get it right 1 out of 20 times. And if I lose 20 times and my losses is just $10, that's only $200. When I win 1 out of 20 times, my win going to be $1,000. You see the big difference in the gaps of the money? That's like $900 profit. If I keep playing like that every day, losing 19 times and keeping my losses at $10, but win 1 out of the 20 and it's 1,000, I will be making $1,000 profit a day. That's the strategy, folks.